All right, let's talk about that little auto spin button on a slot machine. You've definitely seen it. It's sold to us as this great convenience, right? A way to just kick back, relax, and watch the action unfold. But if you're like a lot of players, you've probably had that nagging feeling, that little voice in your head that says, wait a minute, is this thing just draining my bankroll way faster? Well, today we're going to get to the bottom of it. We're breaking down what auto spin really does, and more importantly, what it doesn't.
So what's the real story here? Is it a helpful little feature designed to make your life easier, or is it a cleverly designed bankroll drain? Is it a simple convenience, or is it a sophisticated trap? The truth is, it's actually a little bit of both. And understanding why is the key to playing a whole lot smarter.
Okay, first things first, let's tackle the biggest myth right off the bat. There's this common belief that the moment you hit auto spin, the game suddenly rigs itself against you, that the odds somehow get worse. But here's the thing, from a purely mathematical standpoint, that's just not true.
So let's look at what it actually does. It's basically just an automated button pusher. That's it. It triggers spins for you using the same bet you already set. Now the right side here is what's absolutely crucial to understand. It does not, under any circumstances, change the core math of the game. The return to player, or RTP, is locked. The odds of hitting any winning combination are exactly the same. And that all-important random number generator, it has no idea whether it was your finger or the software that started the spin. Mathematically, a spin is a spin. Period.
Okay, so if the math is identical, why does it feel like your money is just evaporating when you use autospin? Well, the answer isn't hidden in the odds. It's something much more obvious and much more powerful. It's the sheer speed of the game. The real issue isn't bad luck. It's your total exposure to the house edge.
And this table just lays it out perfectly. In, say, a 10-minute session playing manually, you're pausing, you're thinking, you might get in about 60 spins. At $1 a spin, you've wagered $60. Now, flip on auto spin. In that exact same 10 minutes, you could easily burn through 400 spins. That's $400 wagered. It's a massive, massive jump. You're facing that built-in house advantage way more often. And that's why your balance can seem to just vanish into thin air.
And that right there is the whole secret. The fundamental math of the slot machine never, ever changes. But what autospin does is dramatically accelerate the rate at which that math is applied to your bankroll. You're not getting worse odds, you're just facing those same odds over and over and over far more frequently.
So how does it achieve this incredible speed? By removing one critical thing from the player experience: friction. Now, friction in this case just means those little pauses, those moments of thought and decision-making that naturally slow us down. When you remove that friction, you create a trap, and your brain basically just switches over to autopilot.
Think about what happens every single time you press the spin button yourself. You go through this little mental checklist. First, you actively decide, okay, I'm going to spin. Then you watch the reels and see what happened. And finally, you process it. Did I win? Did I lose? Before deciding to go again. Each of those little steps is a moment of friction, a tiny but vital pause that keeps you engaged and aware.
Autospin completely shatters that decision-making loop. Those deliberate steps are gone, replaced by one continuous, non-stop cycle. There's no pause to feel the sting of a loss or the joy of a win. They all just blur together into one rapid-fire stream of sights and sounds. The tangible feeling of spinning your money on each individual spin just gets lost in the noise.
Now, let's add another psychological layer to this whole thing. Slot machines are famous for using a trick called losses disguised as wins, or LDWs. So imagine you bet $1 and you win 50 cents back. The machine will erupt with celebratory sounds and flashing lights, making you feel like you just won, even though you actually just lost half your bet.
And autospin makes these disguised losses even more powerful. Because the game is moving at lightning speed, you don't have time to register that the big, flashy win was actually a net loss. The machine just barrels right into the next spin, effectively masking the slow, steady drain on your balance with constant but totally misleading positive reinforcement.
This all comes down to a really key idea from behavioral science. Manual play is active decision-making. You are consciously making a choice for every single spin. Losses feel real. But autospin turns the experience into passive consumption. Your spending becomes automated, kind of like a subscription service, and that detaches you from the feeling of loss. The losses don't feel as deliberate because you're not the one actively causing them anymore.
So after all that, what does this actually mean for you as a player? Look, understanding these mechanics isn't about trying to outsmart the machine.
That's a fool's errand. It's about understanding how the machine is designed to influence your behavior, and then using that knowledge to take back control.
So let's be honest. Why do casinos offer this feature in the first place? It's a massive win for them. It jacks up the number of spins per hour, which means more of your money is wagered. It gets rid of that decision friction that might cause you to slow down or stop playing. It perfectly aligns your desire for convenience with the casino's need for efficiency and profit. It's a brilliantly designed feature for the house.
But here's the good news. This knowledge puts the power back in your hands. You can now make a truly informed choice. You can decide to use the feature deliberately with strict limits, or maybe you'll just avoid it altogether. You'll recognize that it's designed to make you lose faster, which means you can make a conscious decision to manage your sessions and maybe stop a little earlier. It's not about beating the odds. It's about managing your own play. And if you take away just one thing from all of this, let it be this. Awareness is your best weapon. You're never going to beat the slots. You can't outsmart the math. But the smarter play is to control the pace of the game. By understanding the psychology of autospin, you can slow down your exposure to the house edge. That's where your real power lies.
This quote just nails it, doesn't it? Autospin doesn't cheat you. It just accelerates you. It doesn't change the game's odds. It just gets you to the inevitable result of those odds much, much faster. It puts your decision-making on autopilot, detaches you from the real feeling of losing, and turns what should be a slow drain into a rapid descent.